Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to pick yourself back up when your mind is spiraling, when you're triggered, maybe you're manifesting something and you thought you're on the right track, but now that your mind is spiraling, you're starting to doubt if you're manifesting correctly. Before I get into the topic, I want to welcome everyone. Welcome back if you've been here before. And if you're new to this channel, my name is Julia. On my YouTube channel, I talk about all things consciousness, inner healing, self-love, and manifestation. And if you're looking for one-on-one support on your journey, feel free to check out the links in the box below. I also have lots of content on my YouTube channel. I do recommend to take a look at my emotional healing playlist. There are many tools in that playlist that will definitely help you on your journey. And also I share a lot of free content on my Instagram. I think that is going to be very beneficial for you as well, but chances are you already know that. All right, and this is a live Q&A, so feel free to put your questions in. I see that a few of you are already joining and are already live with me. So I'm going to start talking about the topic that I named this video. But yeah, feel free to put your questions in the chat, and I'm just gonna make it a free flow video where I'm gonna like talk a little bit about the topic and I'm gonna answer questions, and then we're gonna see where we're gonna go from there. All right. So how to pick yourself back up when your mind is spiraling or when you're triggered. So first, let's talk about the feeling that you might be experiencing and the situation that you might be in when you're watching this video, yeah? So when you're triggered, when you're demotivated, when your mind is spiraling, it can feel very, very disempowering. It can feel defeating. It can feel it can feel hopeless. And this video is meant to help you remember that these are just feelings. These are just feelings. They are gonna, they're just gonna come up. And now you have an opportunity to actually look at your own inner narrative, your own inner dialogue, and see what beliefs you're holding that are creating the state of being and are creating the reality that you're pushing out from these emotions. And instead of like sitting here and buying into those feelings and buying into those beliefs, what you want to do is you really want to make sure that you're observing them mindfully. This is your opportunity to break a pattern that you might have had for many, many years, even decades. And right now, as you're experiencing them, you can either put yourself back to sleep, you can go on autopilot, or you can start taking responsibility and hold yourself accountable and really hold space for these emotions to show up, be with yourself, and start to take a look at what you're telling yourself and who you're thinking yourself to be. So when we're looking at it from that perspective, then you're actually not in that bad of a place. Actually, you can start to be grateful for the triggers because they're showing you what you need to be focusing on and what you need to be working on, which is so amazing and which is so empowering already. Now, what I experience usually when my mind is spiraling, it feels like kind of paralyzed. So what you want to do when that's the case, if you really feel paralyzed, if you feel like you don't see many options or you don't see any options at all, you just want to stay in those feelings, like just start with just simply observing and labeling your emotions. Like, what is the feeling that is coming up? Are you feeling hopeless? Are you feeling paralyzed? Are you feeling numb? Don't you feel anything? Are you feeling sad or angry or defeated or lost or lonely or abandoned or betrayed? Like, what exactly is the emotion that is coming up? Or it could also be like a couple of emotions. Like, really start to look for the emotions that you're experiencing, start labeling them, and also try to locate them within your body. Like, is it maybe your heart area that is like aching? Do you feel something in your heart or your stomach area? or do you feel kind of numb and disconnected from your body? And there's no wrong or right in this. Like, you are feeling however you are feeling. If you feel empty, or if you just don't feel much, that's okay as well. But just like spend a few minutes to kind of like tune into your body and tune into your emotions, and kind of like, what are the emotional and physical symptoms that you're experiencing at this present moment, just for you to create some awareness. Because so often we allow our mind to like just react to the emotion and just be like, oh, it's also hopeless, or oh, I'm not doing a good job. And like, this is just a judgment in your mind that is basically avoiding doing the inner work. So don't be like that. Don't do that to yourself. Don't avoid that little inner effort that you have to do in that moment in order to shift yourself or to heal yourself. Like, really take just a few minutes to start bringing your awareness to your body, bringing your awareness to your emotions. And then what you want to do next is you want to start to observe your mind. What are you thinking? What is the story that you're telling yourself? What is the inner dialogue that you are buying into? Or maybe in that moment when you're observing, you're not buying into it anymore. So just look at the inner dialogue and kind of become aware what the story is that you're telling yourself and who you are being in that moment. Like, what is the story telling yourself about the world and about your identity? What identity are you taking on? Mostly when you're spiraling, of course, you're going to be in a state of lack. When you're in a state of abundance, I wouldn't really call it spiraling. It's more expansion. So when you're spiraling, you're in a state of lack. That's why it doesn't feel good. And by observing, you can kind of start to become more present in the moment. And what happens when you do that is you at least become conscious of the spiraling, and you have the opportunity to observe the beliefs, which then you can later start to replace with new beliefs. But before you're doing that, you want to really start soothing yourself, because when you are in that state where you're spiraling, your nervous system is most likely dysregulated, and you want to start to soothe yourself by really showing up for yourself, like starting to breathe deeply, bring your awareness to your body, be present in your body. Maybe you want to do a body scan or a heart meditation, and you can check out the heart meditations that I've posted on YouTube. Like, you can just find them by putting into the Google search heart meditation, Manifest with Julia. There are 2 heart meditations on my YouTube channel. You can also check out my emotional healing playlist. There are many tools like inner child healing, and many other, like, also little parts of inner child healing that you can practice by themselves, or like practice separately, that can help you really start to become more comfortable in the darkness, start to become more comfortable when you're working with your shadow, which is like the part of yourself that you've suppressed, that is coming to the surface when you are in a lower state of being, when you are experiencing anything that you wouldn't like to experience. That is what I would call your shadow. So really look through that emotional healing playlist, pick out a tool that you want to work with, and that will help you soothe yourself. Now, in short, I already said it, you really want to bring your awareness to your body. Breathe deeply, and you can already feel, like, when you bring your awareness to your body, and when you maybe even close your eyes and just like start to feel your hand on your chest, start to feel your hand on your belly, on your stomach, like just holding yourself that way and being there with yourself and being present with yourself and telling yourself that it's okay. The way I feel right now is okay. It makes sense. Given everything I've been through, that I'm feeling this way in this moment. I'm not judging myself. I'm not rushing myself through this process. I'm trusting that I'm gonna be okay. Everything is gonna be okay. I can trust. I can let go. I can be here with myself, and I can just like take a few minutes to just breathe, to just be with myself, to just encourage myself, really. So that is what I suggest that you do before you then later, when you're feeling a little more relaxed, a little more present, a little more connected with yourself, you really want to start to replace those beliefs that you have identified while observing your triggers or while observing your mind when spiraling, and start really, really claiming a new version of yourself that doesn't feel that way anymore. And I really think that it's good to do that after soothing yourself, because you don't want to go from like feeling like shit basically to trying to feel ecstatic. You really want to make sure that you're being realistic in your approach, and first of all, like relaxing yourself into a more neutral state of being where you're feeling okay, where you're not feeling like super bad or spiraling. And from there, and it doesn't have to be the same day, it can be, but it doesn't have to, like just try and be intuitive and see what really works for you. But then as a next step, you can start to really saturate your mind with that new version of yourself. How does it feel to be confident? How does it feel to be safe, to be trusting, to be abundant, to be loved? Like whatever specific area of your life that you're working on and that you want to experience a change in, really become familiar with that version of yourself and start affirming in that, yeah, I'm starting to feel like that version of myself. I'm starting to experience changes. I am that version of myself. And really allow yourself to saturate your mind, whether this is with affirmations, with guided meditations, with scripting, like whatever techniques you want to use. You can use self-talk. You can just like free flow and just like talk to yourself. Look in the mirror and talk to yourself. Like you can be really creative with that, but like honestly, all that you need to do is to change your inner dialogue to start to feel like a new version. Who is that new version of yourself who's already loved, who's already abundant, who's already safe, who's already trusting? Who is that version of yourself? Like really become one with that version of yourself. Keep saturating, release your dependency on the 3D to validate you and really come back to yourself. Like your power lies within you, and that's where you gotta like focus your energy, where you gotta focus your power. Yeah, that's what you gotta do when you are triggered. I know that it's not easy, I really know, but that's the work that you need to be doing that is going to help you release those triggers and really make a change that is sustainable. And you gotta pick yourself up over and over and over again. I really want to state that it's normal to feel hopeless sometimes or to feel defeated sometimes. Like if you have a program in your mind that is running and that is making your life difficult, then you really gotta stay committed to your inner work. There's no way around it, none that I know of, that is really sustainable. And that is precisely because you are the creator of your reality. Like I know that there are people who try to find external solutions. And the thing is, if you do that, you're always going to be dependent on that external thing that you're using to feel better, and you're going to externalize your power. Whereas when you're really starting to do the inner work, that's when you can build that inner confidence and build that inner core and know that you're empowered and that you can really affect sustainable changes by really persisting in that new version of yourself. Like that's the ultimate solution that is going to help you really create changes in your life that stick. It's not a quick fix. It's really a commitment to a new version of yourself that you want to reinforce over and over and over again. It doesn't matter for how long, because when you are a new version, then it's going to be easy to reinforce it, and at some point it's going to be automatic. But that's the only, I don't want to say it's the only way to sustainably change, but that's what always happens when you're changing. Like even if you don't know that you're doing it, when you're sustainably changing, it's because you're reprogramming your subconscious mind in one way or another. All right. Are there any questions? If so, now is the moment to ask them. I'm going to stay online for another 1 or 2 minutes to see if there are questions coming in, because I see that there are a few people live. So feel free to ask your questions now. And if not, oh my god, I see that it's super bright, actually. Why is it so bright? Oh, there are questions, I didn't see them. I'm so sorry. What should I say to myself? Let's say I have a belief that it's very hard to get out of a particular situation and my old self tries to guilt me into not manifesting my desire, even though I know it's the right thing for me. So you already know that you have a belief that it's hard to get out of this particular situation. And in that case, what you want to do is you want to start to become really conscious of that belief. So that belief is telling you, okay, it's difficult to get out of the situation. Tell yourself that just a belief, that's not the truth. I can choose a different reality. I can choose a different thought. And then for that moment, really question the belief when it comes up and tell yourself, that's just my old story. I'm now choosing to believe that it's actually, like, make it easy. Like, don't say like it's super easy for me to get out of the situation. Like, don't try to go to the direct opposite unless it feels very good and easy. But what I would do is like, I'm open to believing that this can be easy. I think it's possible that this can be easy for me. I think it's possible that I can perceive that as easy. Like, it's an option to perceive it as easy. I believe that there's a version of myself that can see that as simple. Like, start with those kind of affirmations, like, I'm open to, I think it's possible. I start believing that it's easy. It gets easier and easier over time. Like, every time I question that belief, it gets easier and easier to believe that it's that I can get out of the situation. Like, really build yourself up onto the new belief. When manifesting marriage with SP, how many times should one do inner conversation with them if you are already enjoying it and doing it from a place of relaxation? I don't think there's a limit to it. Like, if you really enjoy it, like, just go for it as much as you want. Like, I personally don't believe that there is too much of that. If you really enjoy it, yeah. Like, is there any reason why you shouldn't do it? Like, please let me know, because I don't see one. The only thing would be if you feel obsessive, but if you feel relaxed, you're not obsessing. You're obsessing. Obsessing feels bad, contracted, fearful. And relaxation feels like, you know, it's just like a good state to be in. So yeah, I don't think you need to worry about that. I always pay a lot of attention to my state of being. And when my state of being is in place, I know I'm going in the right direction. You can then, but you are already specific, like, inner conversation sounds quite specific. So yeah, I'm just, when I'm very general, like, I allow myself to be more specific, but like, I don't think that that's an issue for you. All right. So I don't see any more questions. Thank you so much for showing up. Thank you so much for being here. I love making these lives with you. I'm gonna try to be online a little more. Okay, there's another question. So when we are transitioning with inner conversations, how to not be impatient? Okay, I see a few questions coming in now. One. So this question, honestly, being impatient doesn't really have anything to do with inner conversations. I think, well, it can. So you are gonna stop being impatient once you soothe yourself. Like, impatience is, from my perspective, it's coming from lack. It's coming from feeling like you don't have what you want yet. And one reason for that can be that you don't really love yourself, because when you love yourself, when you're in a state of love, you're not impatient. And another reason can be that you don't feel like you have your desire, or it's not possible for you to have it. So in that case, you want to saturate your mind with feeling the state of the wish fulfilled. And I think you gotta do both, because, I mean, they're related, yeah? They're not really completely distinct from each other. When you're in the state of the wish fulfilled, you do love yourself. If you don't, like, if you feel impatient, you're not in the state of the wish fulfilled. you gotta really let go of the 3D. When you're impatient, you're really still very, very attached to the 3D, which is okay, and it happens to all of us, but it doesn't help you. You gotta start really creating the emotion that you want to feel within yourself. That's the thing about manifesting. When you are starting to create the emotion that you want, like, I don't know, I feel abundant, I feel that money is coming to me, I feel love is coming to me, I feel that I'm receiving the attention I deserve, I feel that I'm receiving the love that I deserve. When you're really doing that, when you're really taking ownership for feeling what you want to feel, you're not gonna wait for somebody to give it to you. You gotta feel it and you gotta radiate it. And when you're impatient, you're still wanting for someone or something to come into your reality and give that to you. So you gotta really take responsibility for that and be completely honest with yourself. Like, being impatient is a sign that you're not taking full ownership. Happens to all of us. Great, thank you for confirming. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your nice message. So, thanks for being here again. I'm gonna try and come on more often because I really like the interaction on here, and I see that more people are joining when I'm here more often as well, so that's also nice. Yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks for the nice comments. Somebody said that really helps. Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Keep believing in yourself. Like, honestly, it can feel so difficult when you're triggered, but the trigger doesn't really say something. You really want to turn towards the trigger and really look at it. Like, it doesn't have power over you unless you allow it to bring you down and to control your mind, but you don't have to do that. Like, it's really, when you think about it, it's really so little effort to just say, like, wait a second, let me examine that trigger. You just gotta take that one decision to be like, let me, instead of being in the state that feels defeated, let me look at it. And then you're turning the tables, and once you do that, you're gonna feel motivated to do the inner work. You're gonna feel motivated to observe yourself and to exchange your beliefs, because you're gonna remember who you are. So don't get trapped in triggers. All right, you gotta do this. You can do this. I believe in you. That's it for today. Thanks so much for being here, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.